So then I find out the princess is in another castle, and I gotta take this because it's dangerous out there. You know what I'm saying? I guess not. All right. So, hello, gentlemen and ladies, or ladies and gentlemen. What's the phrase? Is it ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Women and children first, always. You know what I'm saying? This is The Enthusiast with episode 7. You're here with one of your hosts, Jesse Nazario, and my co host, the lovely and special
Will Zabo.
Will Zabo. How you doing today? How's everything? How was your week again?
It's pretty good. Played some games. I beat Titanfall 2.
Ooh.
Yes. I put some more time into some Final Fantasy.
It was a great game.
Yeah, really good.
Playing that when you came over.
Yeah, I saw.
Didn't want to turn it off.
I know, but we had work to do.
Yes.
And then, of course, I saw the Nintendo Switch conference.
Yes.
Event.
I stayed up for some of it, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yes. You ended up keeping me updated with information, though, so I appreciate it. So, well, I've been sick this past week. It was awful. I missed a lot of work. It wasn't even like that fun sick where I could like play video games and stuff. I was on the couch dying. Watched a lot of TV, and a lot of TV watched me because I kept just passing out. So it was pretty bad, and then I got really, really like weak. So my wife had to carry me around a lot, and that wasn't fun because I'm not a small guy.
No, you're not.
She's not a big lady.
She is not.
Nope. So
kudos to her though for doing it.
Yes. So it's been a rough week, but today I am clenching these butt cheeks together because we're getting through this podcast. Yes. Let's do this. Why? Because the Switch finally came out with important information and information that we feel like we need to share with people.
Yeah, we can also go over our impressions of it, and let's just start. What did you think with that whole presentation? Before we even get into the information itself, the presentation, what did you think of the way that they decided to deliver the information and what they decided to show us?
I think Nintendo has completely lost touch with the market out there. If I was a conspiracy theory kind of guy, I would think Nintendo wants to bankrupt themselves. And they were like, let's make sure this doesn't work. Because what they presented to me was a toddler's commercial with a lot of colors and flashy lights and stuff like that, and didn't sell me on anything. I'll tell you what did sell me. A little green elf named Link. If it wasn't for Legend of Zelda, I honestly would have no interest in this.
100% agree. As soon as it started, from the moment it started, even with the music and the constant snapping I think it was like every 10 to 15 seconds.
Yes.
I was kind of like, what are they doing? I was like, all right, you know what? This is a Nintendo opening, but once it gets going, I'm going to be blown away.
Yeah.
It just kept going downhill. I was like, what?
I mean, there's a few announcements they made that I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But there was interesting. I never heard anything that was like, what? Wow, that is amazing. Like,
and nothing to me proved to me that Nintendo has changed from what they already were and has learned from their mistakes.
Here it was. And last thing we complained about was no third-party support. And the only thing I got excited for was a first-party game. I got excited for Mario, too. Which I don't know when that's coming out. Sometime next year.
Let's get to the games last. Let's get to the information first.
See how Will's telling me what to do.
I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? My bad. We
run the train.
We can't jump around the list. I apologize.
You run the train.
He's got a particular list. You know who else had lists? Nazis. Nazis had lists. So go ahead.
Go in any order you would like.
Go ahead. See Kyle. Will, go ahead, buddy. I want you to hurt yourself.
So the price we know is $299.99 in the U.S.
Correct. $300.
$300.
Which, to me, in my opinion, that is a ridiculously decent price. I prefer $250, but $300 to me is not terrible. Why? Because a normal system is about $300, and this is a normal system with a portable system built into it for the same price. And I think that's pretty affordable.
I think the price for what you're getting is great. $300 is amazing. The problem, however, though, is I think they missed the price point that they needed to hit, which was $250. And my argument for why I believe they needed to hit $250 was a PS4 is now $300, and so is an Xbox One. Your console is slightly underpowered than both of those consoles already, and your library isn't as large.
Mm-hmm.
So when parents go out to buy their kids, or even when people just go out to buy a console, they're going to go, why would I want this that only has like maybe at launch 10 games?
Maybe 10 games.
Yeah. Whereas I could buy either one of these other consoles and have a crap ton.
And not to mention, you're taking a risk buying this versus, the PlayStation 4, who has gems on it.
Yeah.
Has games they've already released that are fantastic.
PlayStation 4 alone, just this year, in exclusives, only exclusives, has 36 exclusives lined up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is. They're not all first party, but like...
That's old enough to run for president. 36.
Yeah. And like that's crazy to me. But the Switch, I think, really should have hit that $250 price point, and it would have been able to be. It would have had the price going for it in that argument.
I agree with you. $250 would have been that nice sweet spot. Like I said, it's that $50 is that make or break sometimes too. It's like somebody would have been like $300, no way. $250, that's not bad. And I agree with you. When I saw that the $300 price range, in my mind, I was like, man, I'm still going to buy this system because I really want the Switch. But I told my wife, and she kind of made a face, and I was like, yeah, I was hoping at $250. And she was like, $250 would have been much better. It was just a $50 difference.
Yeah, which that's sometimes all it takes. And honestly, if it was also $250, the 3DS right now is $200 new. So that would have been the $50 difference of just bumping it up, but now your difference is $100. So it's a lot harder to convince a parent who's coming in to buy a 3DS for their kid to then go, hey, there's this new console out called the Switch that's also portable and can be a home console, and it's going to get way better titles, but this is $300. Not every parent's going to go, yeah, I don't want to pay that extra $100.
Yeah, versus $50. Agreed. Hopefully, they'll probably drop it like $50 by the next holiday, though.
What, the Switch?
Yeah.
Probably within a year, I agree.
Depending
but
on how well
the
it
problem
does.
is, I think then you're also going to run into the PS4 and Xbox dropping. So I think you're always going to be in that same cusp of they're both going to be the same price. Now, don't get me wrong, Nintendo does have one thing going for it, and that is their first-party lineup. I think Nintendo still has the best first-party games next to Sony. I think Nintendo's first, and then Sony is coming right up on them because Sony has some amazing first-party titles as well.
I agree, but I feel like the problem is I feel like Nintendo's always got that leg up because everybody can play their first parties, where
Yes.
Sony's really does have just matured first party games. I mean, they don't have that, I can play with my family kind of game.
That's true.
So, but like I said, $300, not the worst thing in the world. It's not the $600 PlayStation 3, which was the worst mistake a company could have done.
Yeah.
And it seems like a decent amount. Not to mention, the PlayStation 2 came out in, 1999? And that got released for $300.
Yeah.
This is, 2017 getting released for $300.
I agree, especially for the year. When they first said, before we even had a rumor of a price, when they said that they were selling it at a profit, and the rumor was it was a home console that you could take on the go, I was thinking it was going to be $400 to $500. So the fact that I'm getting this for $300 is amazing. I'm not going to complain, but I think
We are getting it. Canada and U.S.
yes,
Because European countries, ask your retailer, buddy. I love that question mark that came up. I was like, oh, that's awkward.
that was great. And I love when they went to Nintendo of Europe. He still didn't even mention their price. He was just kind of like, yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. We'll give it to you for what we want to give it to you. That's it. So, decent. So, me and you had the discussion on the memory size.
Yes,
You got really mad.
I am not happy with the memory
Like,
size.
personally, me personally, I said it was okay because it's well, let's just say it too. I mean, no, let's keep in suspense for it. It is 32 gigs.
Yes, 32 gigabytes.
Where, if you don't understand that, that is probably every save file you could ever fit, with all games would fit on 32 gigs. Your problem is for people like you that love to download.
Yes.
That's not going to work for you.
No, I don't even think that's going to be enough to do Breath of the Wild by itself.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Breath of the Wild alone is probably going to be about, I'm guessing 30 to 60 gigs.
Did you see that comparison video, too, from the Wii U version to the Switch version?
Actually, no, I didn't.
Oh, it's a ridiculous difference. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Like, wow difference. It's like, why would I play that on the Wii U? Smack, smack. No.
But you're okay with it because you're not a download guy.
No. Well, when it comes to download, though, Nintendo is the system to do a lot of downloading on.
It's true.
I'm more okay with it now because I made the mistake of getting the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker edition of the Wii U, and that had a download version for Wind Waker. Like you said, that took up the majority of my memory right away.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with the should I download this, should I not game. Now that I'm getting the system fresh start, you know what I mean, and I'm mostly going to buy hard disk versions, I don't really care. Except for when I go probably crazy with the download market.
Now, see, here's the other problem, though. Now, so 32 gigs. What happens when they release bundles and they do digital again?
Ooh.
So you mean to tell me that if for the holiday, for some reason, they do a Mario Kart bundle, let's just go with Mario Kart. If that's 20 gigs,
I was going to say 18, but 20 sounds good.
if that's 20 gigs, because since it's a deluxe version, I'm going to assume that they're going to have some extra content, which will probably boost up the memory size. But 20 gigs out of your 32, that leaves you with only 12. It's not including any NES Classic games you're going to download, Super NES games, and then the rumor, which still hasn't been confirmed, of GameCube games. Or N64, because I forgot they added those to the Virtual Console in the Wii U.
Well, they just had a Wii games, too. They still skipped GameCube, which is mind-boggling.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, all right, what am I going to do?
Yeah. So what do you think? The memory cards?
So apparently it's micro SD.
Bless you.
Thank you. It's micro SD cards, which are super expensive when you get to like the 1 terabyte range. I think I saw they get pretty pricey. I saw like a 250 gig one, which isn't horrible, and you can get that for I think it was $60 on Amazon.
Okay.
That's not bad. But my concern is how big are the games going to be, and how many times can I re-download these games? If I can just delete a game and reinstall it whenever I want, I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? But my problem with Nintendo has always been your stuff isn't tied to your account; it's tied to your system.
Right.
So for some reason, something goes wrong and I lose my Switch or it breaks and I have to get another one. It's like, well,
Because it's this portable system.
Did I just lose everything?
Dripped and dropped into a lake, and now it's gone forever. Well, we'll see.
I felt that the minimum memory it should have came with was 500. And I think PlayStation and Microsoft set that as like the standard now. Because even when the Wii U came out and then the PS4 and Xbox One came out, we were all like, 500 gigabytes? Holy crap. We learned really quick that that's not a lot. But at the time, we were like, 500? That's way more than 32.
Yes, it is. It is weird that they kept in that same direction when this was supposed to be them moving it forward. So I agree. But I'm just glad it came with a built-in memory of some sort, you know what I mean? Because the other side of this could have been no memory.
Yeah,
Here's a memory card. I never want to go back to the days of memory cards. I have nightmares, and you know what I mean?
You think about it a lot.
I opened a drawer the other day, and I found a GameCube memory card, and I ran clear across the room. It's a terrifying thought. There was nothing worse than putting a game in and being like, what memory card was this on? It was on one of these.
I remember when I had a GameCube, I had the jet black GameCube, and they also had the jet black memory cards, and I only wanted jet black memory cards. But it used to make it super hard if I ever had to remember what game was on which memory card, because I also didn't like stickers on my stuff.
Yeah.
So I never labeled anything. I would just have to sit here and go through all my memory cards.
I remember I had a obnoxious purple memory card that was like stupid looking, but I by mistake had that in there to save Twin Snakes.
Oh.
And there was nothing worse than like I played Twin Snakes all the time on it. That's a remake of Metal Gear Solid for anybody that has never played that before. Or was like 12, I guess. Do we have a lot of 12-year-olds that listen to us?
I don't know yet.
That's weird. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so it was obnoxious. I never want to go back to the days of memory cards. So I'm glad it has built-in memory of some sort.
I agree.
Remember the face I made when you told me I had to buy a memory stick for the Vita? I was like, what? It's 2,000 and what? I gotta buy a what for this?
Yeah, I agree. I can understand that. And I agree. 32 gigs is better than nothing, but it almost feels like it's that slight line above nothing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, all right, let's move on to the next thing.
All right, so the man on the conference said the battery life for on the go depends on the game is anywhere from 2.5 hours to 6.5.
Okay.
You were saying 3 hours earlier, so is it 2.5 close enough for you?
So me personally, I wanted it to be 4 to 6.
But that's not, that wasn't gonna happen.
I was hoping. The 2.5 makes me really worried, and I argue with people all the time about this because a lot of people like to argue with me. Where are you at that you're going to be playing a game on the go for 2.5 hours? And I was like, well, if you go on any road trip, you know what I mean? Plane ride. And I get it.
But you can charge and play too. That makes a big difference.
You can, but I have to buy that. You have to buy a portable. You would have to buy the outlet. You would have to buy the car adapter charger, or you would have to buy a outlet for your car so that you can put it into the cigarette lighter and plug your regular.
But say you're at an airport and you're waiting, you just need a USB cord to charge.
That's true, and they did say that it uses USB-C, which is super fast to charge it. I think so. That's fine. I get that. But what if you're somewhere that you don't have a charger? What if I'm in New York City? I'm just like, I guess I could just go into a store and plug my stuff in.
That's super awkward. You're walking around New York City though, playing the Switch.
Oh man, have you been to New York City?
Yeah.
People are awkward.
All these things you could be seeing, but you know what, sir? I'm gonna sit here myself.
Hey man, all I
playing
see
the Mario game where I'm in New York City.
All people do in New York is look at their phone and walk around.
It is weird.
No one wants to look at stuff.
Yeah,
in New York.
I went to my college. I grew up in the International House of Pancakes. That's where I went to school. Don't ask.
Okay.
So we went there for breakfast this morning, and me and my wife just glanced around, and everybody was on their phone. So I was like, wow, this is super weird. I was like, you want to communicate? And she was like, yeah. Should I text you? And I was like, no, we'll use our words. This is nice. Fantastic. Just teasing. We texted. No, that's terrible. We talked.
I do feel like, I personally feel like the battery is a little short. I can understand the argument of where are you going to be for that long period of time where you can't charge it in between. All right, fine. I get that. I just feel like I shouldn't have to. It shouldn't have to be a worry in my head of, oh, how long have I been playing this? What's my battery at?
Yeah, I can understand that. And reminds me of the days of the Game Gear. You remember that thing?
That thing was huge.
Yes, it was.
So many. Double A batteries they take?
It was AA and it was 6.
Yeah. That was a lot.
I love that system. I still have it.
Really?
Yeah, it's somewhere.
Nice.
All right, so the release date is March 3rd. Too soon? Too late? March 3rd? We had this discussion. You said you love that March date. I just love it because that means it's close and I can get it soon.
I like the March date. I feel like it's safe. There isn't really... Game-wise, there's a lot coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One. However, I think as like hardware, the Switch is going to be by itself. And they also have one game for it that we'll get to later that's really going to make that date to me be why people buy it.
Right, because you don't want to go off the list and talk about Zelda now. So that's weird. All right. This is fun. You have in your notes here, you can use your phone to make play dates for the Switch. I don't even know what that means, sir.
So they talked about how there will be an app that will work with the Switch, and you'll be able to set up play dates or times that you and your friends can get together and play. And my instant response to that to my friends that was watching the Switch with me was, I could just text you when I want to play and when you're available to play. I don't really need this. What I wanted them to hear when they first started talking about Switch online activity, I wanted to know how their networking was going to work, and are my games, or are they tied to this console again? Never went into that.
Nah, why would they? Because that'd be a question you want to know. So here's what pissed me off, because I did watch a little bit of it. It's going to be free for the first few months, they said?
Up till holiday.
And then they're going to charge you. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Really, Nintendo? You got some balls on you.
Yeah,
Sony doesn't even do that. Are you kidding me? No, Nintendo, excuse me. Let me pay for your online service, because it's always been so great, Nintendo. Fantastic. Why? What were they thinking? Answer my question. What were they thinking?
They really wanted to get into that market of getting free money. Think about it. I mean, the only place that you don't have to pay for online for your games is PC to play online.
True.
PC, you do not pay for a service. You pay for the internet, you have online.
Are they hoping that they're gonna get people hooked to it? Because I can see myself right now. Come holiday, I'm like, oh, guess my Switch is going offline. Because
I feel like my Switch is going to be offline. I don't. The only person I'm probably even going to play with is you. I don't really know that many.
thanks for playing, buddy. I like playing with you too.
But Nintendo has never had chat functionality really, so I don't know what they haven't gone into if that's going to be a thing. So what am I paying for?
Yeah, like I said, we'll have to see in that
To play
that
Splatoon?
time. Yeah, they got to see in that time to see what is going to make it worth paying and what the price is going to be. They haven't even announced the price.
They didn't, and that's another problem too. Splatoon's online only. So what are you going to do if you don't want to pay for their service and you bought Splatoon? You just wasted money. Like I don't.
Throw it against the wall, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. As for the price, the only way I could see this benefiting is if they made it like a cheap price, like $30 a year.
Okay.
If you did 30 for the year,
Even I need to see something amazing coming out of it, though.
I agree. They did say that every month you'll get access to a Xbox. I mean, Jesus, Xbox, NES or Super NES games, but you'll only be able to play them for that month that they're available. So it'd be like renting them.
Which then again, like
Now this came
Sony
from,
does the same thing, but they let you keep it forever.
yeah.
And here's my favorite part: you can download it in that month and never touch it. And then 3 years later, be like, oh, remember that game I downloaded? I do it all the time. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm wondering. Nintendo, what are you thinking?
I really feel like Nintendo just doesn't understand the market. And I feel it's so funny to me because they legitimately have unlimited access of knowledge. Sony's been doing it for a while now, and so has Microsoft. You easily could have looked at what they've been doing and go, you know what, let's copy that. But let's do it right.
Yes.
But Nintendo was like, you know what? People really like our games, our NES and Super NES. We can't give them away because we need them to buy them. But we'll let you play them for a month, and then you can buy it.
I guess they're hoping for like drugs, you know what I mean? Get you a little hooked, you know what I mean? Give you a sample. And once you're hooked, you're like, man, I need it. I
Yeah.
need that fix.
That has to be it. That legitimately has to be what's going through their head.
So yeah, like I said, no price. The Switch is no longer region locked. I could care less about this. You seemed a little excited earlier because your voice went up higher than usual.
Yeah, I'm actually super excited about it. One of my problems with Nintendo was I could never play like Mother 3 because it was a region locked game.
And it's not in English.
It's not in English, you're right. But
So
they're
I'm gonna play it anyway.
maybe I would learn Japanese.
That's why I don't care about region locking. I mean, I'm not learning a language to play a video game. All right.
I just think it's a nice thing. It's also nice for people who, let's say you move to Japan or to
Okay.
another country. You bought your system in America.
Right.
Now you can't buy anything in the country you just moved to. So I think it's more convenient for that as well.
I can see that. All right.
So I was excited for it, but
All right. Yeah, I know, but okay. So comparing it to the Wii U that's out right now.
the Switch.
Yes. How's the Switch turn on? The opening compared to
Oh,
the
so
screen, the graphics.
we saw a slight look at the like home menu operating system look, and I was really hoping for a more adult look, similar to like PlayStation, with the blocks that you kind of just go to the side. Then you have your second bar where you can pick your your friends, all that, your trophies and stuff like that. Nintendo's really kind of still looked childish to me. Like there were these blocks and bright colors of yellows and reds, and I was kind of like, it looked clean, but it didn't look good. Like I kind of just felt like I was expecting more out of it.
All right.
And it's funny because the Switch to me looks very adult. It doesn't look like a kid's system when you look at it. It looks very sleek and nice. It's a beautiful console.
It is very pretty.
And then I looked at that operating system, the like OS, and I was kind of just like, this looks ugly. Like I don't like this.
Man.
But visually for the games, Nintendo's always done a great job. With even the Wii U that was underpowered, Mario Kart is still probably one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really
They
nice.
do a really good job.
The HD re-release Wind Waker still looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I feel like we badmouthed Nintendo for a little bit, so we're gonna say something nice about them. I like you, Nintendo.
I want Nintendo to succeed, and I want the Switch to do well. I just feel like, and maybe I don't know their full plan yet. You know what I mean? This
To burn
is
the company down.
this is still early, but from what I've seen so far, I'm still a little concerned, and I think people like you, me, and consumers have a right to be concerned. We were all burned by the Wii. You would have months with nothing to play.
Wii U. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Wii U. I'm sorry.
I mean, they were the same pretty much. That's why nobody bought the Wii U. Oh, Nintendo. Make bad decisions. Make bad decisions.
So,
So connects up to 8 different players, man. How many that is? That's 4 plus 4.
or 4 times 2.
Ooh, that's even better. Yeah. Yeah.
I like
There's
that.
16 divided by 2.
Oh yeah, that is 8. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Wow.
That's what I do for a kid.
Wow.
That's interesting. I also like the fact that you can use your gamepad and use it to connect to somebody else's Switch. I think that's awesome because one of the complaints I had about the Wii U is the system itself was the gamepad, and that was it. Your friend couldn't bring their gamepad and connect with yours. If you didn't have a Pro controller and then about 95 Wii controllers sitting around, you weren't playing with anybody.
Yeah.
Another complaint I had, and I feel like the Switch is getting away from this, thank goodness, was I bought the Wii U because it wasn't a Wii, and I didn't want motion games. And then I would go pick up games, and they would require motion controls. And I'd get furious because I'm like, I didn't buy a Wii, I bought a Wii U, why am I still playing with these motion controls? So I'm really excited that it looks like the Switch is like, majority of these games you're going to play with this controller.
I agree.
And I think that's a good idea. So I am excited, and I do like the fact that Nintendo, because Nintendo is always the best when it comes to multiplayer. When it comes to just average, when it comes to LAN connection and hanging out with your friends.
We still play Mario Kart.
Every time
week.
you come over, you know what I mean?
Week.
I play my PlayStation 4 all the time, but when you come over, the Wii U comes out, and we play Mario Kart, we play Smash Brothers. And it's the best for, LAN parties. It's a good time.
I agree. And I think the Switch, moving it up to 8 players local is awesome.
Oh, genius idea.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how that's going to work for the screen being divided so much. I'm going to assume it only means for if you have 8 Switches together.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
That's all I can imagine.
And
otherwise, it'll probably only be up to 4.
Yeah. And I still think, like I said, I still think that's a pretty cool idea, you know what I mean? And like I said, I do love the fact that I know you're going to Switch at launch, and I know I'm going to Switch at launch because we reserved it.
Yes.
You're my buddy. Thank you so much for doing that, by the way.
You're welcome.
A little side note, everybody, I was sick, and I couldn't move off the couch, and my good friend over here reserved my Switch for me because he loves me. And
Well, I knew how bad you wanted it.
yes, we've been talking about it for a while.
Unfortunately, I then was scolded because I pre-ordered a gray one, and your wife wanted the red and blue.
Yes.
We'll get into the
We'll
colors later.
Get into that later, just because of the fact that she likes her colors, I guess. I don't know. So,
How do you feel about the HD Rumble?
at first I was like, why would I care that I can feel like there's ice cubes? And I was like, what is this? Where is he going with this? And then I realized, oh, wow, I'm stupid. That he's talking about the amount of detail in this and how you can feel it, like how much. So if they do it right, wow, that could be something really cool, I think.
I'm not going to lie, I wish they didn't put that in their conference. Not because I didn't think it was cool, but because when I first heard it, I was in the same boat you were, where I was kind of like, why do I care about that? I think it's something you have to experience.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what would be super cool? If I hold this stick for, let's say they release a motion Zelda game down the road, and I go to hold the Master Sword, and I feel
The
weight,
weight. Yeah.
at the bottom of the controller because the sword is not going to be completely balanced. You know what I mean? If I go to, if they make another, real steel, and I go to fire a weapon, and I feel the, coil back and everything like that, that will be cool. So, like I said, I don't think they shouldn't have announced it. I think they should have went a different way of saying it. Like,
Definitely.
it was super weird the way he did it and creepy. Like, you know what I mean?
It was really creepy.
Why am I watching this guy drink water?
He drank
He
the glass of
legitimately
water.
drank the water afterwards. Like, were you thirsty? What is going on?
I agree. There's only one guy, 2 other guys that I thought topped him in the weirdness, but we'll get into those guys later when we get to their
be
games.
honest, I think after that's when I was like, man, I gotta go to bed. Like, I can't do this. Here's my issue. I think I might have, if I had been on the fence about buying this, I might have watched the rest of it. But the fact is, I knew I was getting one no matter what. So I felt like, you know what, let me watch a little bit of this for the podcast and then go to bed. And that's what I ended up doing. But it could be cool, I guess.
I think it's a better demo than it is to hear someone talk about it.
Yeah.
And rattle around. I don't, like I said, I don't think it was something that needed to be in their conference. But
it was super creepy the way he did it and all that, so.
But yeah. Before we get into the games, let's get into the prices of the accessories, because I thought some of these were a bit ridiculous.
Listen, YouTube and SoundCloud world, he's going off the list. Oh man, he jumped ahead. Phil, special. Today's a great video. Man, all right.
I'm sorry. I know. I didn't want to get into the games and then go into accessories. So let's go to the accessories. Then we'll
Joy-Cons, how much are they each?
$49.99.
All right, and that includes a pair or just one?
One Joy-Con.
That is super expensive.
If you buy a pair, it is
that thing looks like I can break it in my hand, no issue.
It is $80 for a pair, $50 each. So if you only break one, you're paying $50. But at that point, I might just pay $80 and just have the other one as a backup for when the other one ever breaks.
I am 6'2", sir. My hands are huge. I looked at that thing and I was like, I could crush that with no issues. When he sat there and looked in my face and said, they're perfect for your hands and super comfortable. Whose hands? Okay? My 7-year-old's hands? Yeah, probably. My wife's little girly hands? Yes. Not these suckers. Whose hands are they good for?
Yeah.
$50 each for just one? You know what, though? Go ahead and save me. How much is a Pro controller?
$70.
Son of a... $70 for a Pro controller. Why, Nintendo? How much is a PS4 controller?
$60 to $65. If you want a colored one, it's $65. But
that's a PS4 controller.
Yes.
Okay, which, in my opinion, is hands down the greatest controller ever released. That thing is amazing.
I do love it.
And a Pro controller is $70.
Yeah.
That thing better sing to me.
Apparently, they came out and said what the functionality is. It does have the HD rumble.
I don't give a shit. All right.
And it also has the Amiibo functionality built in it.
What was it?
Amiibo functionality. So it has the NFC reader inside of that.
Yeah, but so does the stupid Joy-Cons.
Yes.
Not to mention, I mean, I love Amiibos like the next guy. I have so many.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever use them for the games, though. You know where I use my Amiibos? They look amazing on my shelf.
Same.
Today I went up to them and I was like, hey guys, I promise I'm going to get a bigger shelf and I'm going to put you all out and make you even more special. But wow. All right. This one I did get really excited for. The docking station is going to be $90.
Yes.
And I asked you, well, why would you need another docking station? And you said, just in case yours breaks, you don't need to replace the entire system, just the docking station. I was like, wow.
Yes.
That is awesome.
I also thought it was a bit interesting that they decided to do this for the Switch, but they would not release the gamepad separately for the Wii U.
Yes, probably because they didn't do that for the Wii U and people were furious. Because once you broke your gamepad for the Wii U, that was it.
Yeah.
My question is, if they're releasing this, what's your warranty with the Switch?
Is it only the handheld console
Is
itself?
it yeah, that's my question. If I get it out of the box and the dock's broken, you better be replacing it, all right?
Yeah.
If I get it after a week and the dock breaks somehow, you're replacing it, all right? First off, your year, when your system gets released, is your way to kiss my ass for a year. Because you need me to tell all my friends how amazing this system is. That's why companies give you that year warranty. They don't care about you. They don't want you flipping out, okay? So they're like, hey, we know you broke the system, okay? We know you're an idiot. You probably were drinking Pepsi and spilled it all over. We're going to replace it up to a year for you, okay? Why? Because we want you telling your friends how great we are. That's how it works, okay?
Pepsi bottle?
Pepsi
Coca-Cola glass?
You think Microsoft wanted to replace the 4 million Xbox 360s that got the red rings? No. They got to a point where they were just losing money. They were shipping new ones out like, I don't give a shit. Take a new one. All right? They gave you a warranty up to 3 years for that thing. 3 years. Not because they liked you as a customer, because they wanted that good vibes and you to tell everybody how great the 360 was.
Yeah, and to be like, hey, if anything does go wrong, you have a 3-year warranty.
Yes.
With it. Unlike most things, which is a 1
1
year.
year. So I better get an entire year. When I get it, I understand Nintendo builds their systems like no other. I mean, I dropped a GameCube down 3 flights of steps, and it worked better somehow. All right. I've moved 2 N64s 80 times through all the times we've moved, and them things still run beautiful. My original Game Boy still runs beautiful. Can't see it worth a damn. And I don't know how I did as a kid, because those things you had to be the perfect lighting for. But they run beautiful, so I get it. Nintendo builds their systems to last. But even me, looking at the Switch, it looks so much more delicate than the Wii U pad.
I hear you.
Like, the Wii U pad was a thick pad. That thing kind of gets me worried. I went on a little tangent there. Sorry, buddy.
No, you're fine.
Sorry, no, I get passionate about my year warranties on stuff.
You want to get into games?
No. I mean, you know, if we are going to get into games,
Well, let's make sure there's nothing else that.
no, I'm gonna go into games now. Okay, I'm gonna get into this one. There is a game called 1-2 Switch. I thought that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
That's what they decided to open with.
That's what they opened with too. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna get into that," because they were like, 2 games we're gonna show you that use this function. One's a multiplayer game. They showed me the Switch. I was like, "Wow, can't wait to see the other one." Worse, but we'll get into that in a minute. So I was like, "Wow, that looks really stupid," and then I felt super bad because I showed my wife the trailer, thinking she'd be like, "That's super dumb," and she was like, "Oh my god, that looks so cute. Can we get it?" And I was like, "Yeah." So, okay, Nintendo, you won that round. Some people are looking forward to that game, I guess.
There was a guy on a Facebook group that I'm in about Nintendo, and the guy said that he was sold on the Switch from the moment they showed 1-2 Switch. And I was like, really?
You know what? And like, the thing, once again, it's not so much the game, it was how it was presented. When he was like, "You will look into the eyes of your opponent's eyes, into the soul." I'm like, it's a video game, bro. Okay?
It's a game that you're not supposed to look at the screen.
Okay, and I get that. That's a neat concept. And I'll have to see how it works.
I think it'll be a fun party game for when you're drunk with your friends.
Yes.
Something funny to do.
Which, like I said, once again, Nintendo, you exceed, once again, every time friends come over, this is what we end up
And I think it's only going to be $20, I would assume. Something like that can't be 60 or
Yeah.
50. But
something that you're not even looking at the screen. And like I said, it made my wife super excited, so you know what. To go on the other side, so they were like, "Oh, there's that, single player experience," and I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be so good. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?" And then I seen this huge guy and this little girl, and I was like, "Okay, maybe like Smash Brothers, or it could be like a fighting game of some sort, like a Street Fighter clone."
you were right about the fighting part.
Yeah, so I was like, "This is good," and then their arms turned super cartoonish, and I was like, no, this is not happening. And then it pulls back and shows what this game is, and I was like, wow.
Rubber arm.
If anything
box.
would make me not get the system, it is ARMS. I'm physically offended about this game.
ARMS was so bad.
Why? What were they thinking? Who wants this? That is not hardcore gamers? No. Okay? That is not casual gamers. That doesn't look fun. Nothing about that concept seems interesting.
Yeah.
You're Nintendo. You own Punch Out, and this is the boxing game you get.
I actually thought for a second it was going to be Punch Out when they first showed the gloves, and then they got these long rubber arms, and I was like, "What the heck just happened?"
So I'm like, what? You have Punch Out. What? Why? Why?
I have no idea.
That's like Capcom coming out and being like, for the people that own Resident Evil and Mega Man, here's a bunny game with a carrot that you have to find. And then like sprinkles come down. That's it. Like, no, that's not what I want, Capcom. Okay, that's not what I want, Nintendo. I don't want ARMS.
Nintendo thinks you want arms.
And the worst thing about it, and I know myself, I'm going to go into GameStop and I'm going to pick up the Switch. And some poor guy or girl behind the counter is going to be like, do you want to get arms? And I'm going to lose my mind on them. And they're going to quit their job because I'm going to break them this game, this entire experience. And I might just flip a wall over.
What are you going to do if your son says he wants arms?
No, absolutely not.
Crushing dreams just to not have arms.
I always say, you know what I mean, there's a couple things, and I will allow all these things in this house. You know what I mean? Like what you want, be who you want, that's fine. I judge no one. But there's two things I won't allow in this house. It used to be one. All right? You're never allowed to be an Insane Clown Posse fan. All right?
100% agree with that.
That's one. All right? You're never allowed to be a juggalo. Not in this house. All right? You be gay. All right? You be a surfer. I don't care. You want to be a woman? Do what you got to do. You will never be a juggalo ICP fan in this house. And now you will never want that game arms. That's second on my list. That's how furious this game made me.
Arms was bad.
It was.
And when I saw it, I legitimately thought in my head, I was like, what is Nintendo doing? Because this was their chance to win me over, and they start by showing me 1-2 Switch and arms. And all I thought was, why do I want this piece of shit?
And you know, like I said, I've been sick this week, so I'm laying in bed looking at arms, and I felt a cold sweat come on me, and I was like, it's not the fever, buddy. It's this game. This game has made me physically ill.
Yeah. Luckily, after that game, though, they went into something most people did care about.
Splatoon?
Mario.
Oh. Because next on your list is Splatoon.
No, it's not. Oh, you're right. It is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
Splatoon. You're right. It was Splatoon.
I was going to talk about Splatoon until you just told me it was online only.
Yes, the first Splatoon was always online. You had a campaign, but you still had to be connected to online.
Correct.
So, now Splatoon 2, I'm going to assume is going to have the same thing, and Splatoon 1 had great multiplayer. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part of that is it's free. You know what I mean? And if you're going to make people pay for it, most Nintendo fans aren't going to want to pay to play Splatoon.
I can't imagine, yeah. Not to mention, like, I hate to be this guy, but most Nintendo fans now are getting up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're getting older.
Getting older. We're having families. I'm saying I don't have money to put out like that. You know?
And I already pay for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, exactly.
That to me is my paid service. So it's kind of like Nintendo. I don't really want.
And I agree with you. I gave up my PlayStation Plus for a couple months so I could pay for my WWE Network. You know what I mean? So like, you make those decisions as adults.
Yeah.
So I can't see myself paying for another network or another service.
I pay for Hulu. I pay for Netflix. I pay for so many services as it is. I don't need another one added to that. Especially if this system ends up just being another Wii U where I only play it once every 6 months or when friends are over.
Correct.
Then we had Splatoon 2, was also announced for the summer.
Yeah.
That's I thought that was pretty cool that at least right after the launch of the Wii U, we'll have something by summer. I still think that's a bit far.
March, summer. I feel like, well, you know, we're not going to get into it because it's at the end of the list.
Yes.
But I'm going to tell you at the end of this podcast why it's okay.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Right. To switch over to the new Mario, though, that looks amazing. I don't care what negativities you had to say about it. First off, name me a bad Mario game. Just do it. I'll wait.
2.
Still a solid game.
I didn't like 2.
All right. Well, you're the one. Okay, you're the one guy. All right. They're all solid games. They're all fun games. They're great games. And to me, this looks like 64 meets Sunshine, and I'm totally okay with that.
So I did get the Sunshine vibe when they went to, I believe it's Mexico. That one part in the desert. Because I think the whole point of this game...
Because there's ponchos and deserts, it's got to be Mexico, right?
Well, never mind.
What, you know what I mean?
It's going to make it really racist. We're not going to go there.
Yeah.
But
there's a nuclear plant in The Simpsons. Springfield's in Jersey. Is that what's going on? Is that what we're talking about now? Huh? Judgmental, buddy.
Anyway, I didn't like it at first when they started in New York. I thought it looked really weird to see Mario walking around with real people.
Yeah.
And he was shorter. They just weren't proportioned. I wouldn't have mind so much if it was the city and they were all
Mario size.
Like Toad or like Princess.
Yeah, but Mario, they've done studies and stuff that Mario is, even for the Mushroom Kingdom people, he's below average height. He ended up being like 5'1", I think, altogether.
And I agree, but I think in the trailer he was up to like their waist.
Yeah, oh man.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, maybe he didn't have a big mushroom. Maybe he can get bigger. We'll see. But
I think it looks like a solid game, and I've never been let down with a Mario game.
It's going to be good.
Also, in the trailer, and this is spoilers, if you haven't watched the trailer, spoilers, turn it off for like 2 seconds. It looks like Bowser is trying to marry Princess Peach.
Yeah.
So give me finally a little story of what Bowser wanted with Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Now it makes some sense, you know what I mean?
Well, Bowser is my favorite Mario character.
Okay.
I love Bowser.
You and the villains for some reason, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I really like Bowser. And I actually really liked that part of the trailer. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I also liked that they showed that you can use your hat as a way to platform.
Yeah.
So you can throw your hat at you.
Literally just warned about, putting that on. That is embarrassing.
What a jerk.
There it is.
All right, silenced it. And this time, it wasn't even during the right game.
Nope. Because we're not allowed to talk about that until the end.
Not yet. It's the last on the list.
Yep.
But,
Zelda.
Oh my god.
But the platforming looks great. Even the camera angles in the trailer look
Butt
amazing.
cam.
I mean, it just everything about that trailer I was sold on. I love Mario though, man. I love the feeling I get when I play Mario.
I do think Mario to this day is probably one of the best, actually the best platformer of all time.
And this is me being a kid that grew up playing Sonic. As much as I love Sonic and I will always try to hold on to him dearly, Mario is just always where it is. He's always reinvented himself. He's always made himself be that dude. And he is that dude.
I still want a Sunshine, too, but it's okay.
All right, and like I said, I don't know. The Wii U was a rarity. We got 2 different Mario games on it.
We did, but no 3D Mario.
You don't feel like 3D Land? 3D Mario?
I do not.
Buddy? Oh.
Not in the sense of a way 3D usually was.
I agree. The reason why I really like 3D World, because 3D Land was the one for the
3DS.
DS.
Yeah.
It was still, as much as I liked Galaxies 1 and 2, I felt like, man, these are a kind of step down from Sunshine.
I agree.
I played 3D Land. I was like, 3D World. I was like, man, this game is really great, and I had that much more fun and excitement with it. But I'll consider them full-blown 3D games. I actually liked the direction those games went. It was a tone down, and you didn't even notice. You know what I mean? And I thought they were fun. Great games. The ending of that game was special.
How do you feel about Mario's hat having eyes?
That didn't bother me. Every time I see something quirky and weird in a Mario game, I'm like, I'm going to hate this. And then I play it, and I'm like, well, why didn't you do this years ago?
That's true. Nintendo is the crazy toy maker that makes things that we don't even know we want.
Yeah, we both grew up in the 90s, so we all know Ted Turner's baby, Captain Planet. All right.
Yes.
For anybody that wasn't a 90s child or 80s child and 90s child, Captain Planet was a guilt pleasure Ted Turner to get kids into start recycling. And he was a superhero that saved the environment. When I saw the trailer for Mario Sunshine, I was like, Nintendo, you ain't going to get me to recycle, buddy. No matter what, even if you put a little cleaning pack on Mario. I played Sunshine, and I was like, I'm sorry, this game's amazing. And I recycled. And I'm not saying that's what Nintendo was going for, but man, like, they know how to... They know what we want when we don't know what that we want.
I agree. Game's called Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey.
Yes.
And it's supposed to come out holiday.
Correct.
Think that's too late?
No, because reasons I can't share yet. But
I'm just messing all this up for you.
No, it's honestly though, I think holidays is the perfect opportunity, because when is the majority of this bulk of system going to get sold?
I actually agree that holiday for a Mario game makes sense.
And I think it's a genius idea, because if I wasn't picking this up for myself, because I'm a huge Nintendo fan, and I saw this Mario game coming out, I know I would turn to my wife and say, hey, I need a Switch and I need that Mario game because it's coming out holiday. And I feel like you're going to get a lot of people that are doing that. And I think it's a solid game. It looks amazing.
And then we had
Sonic?
a new RPG.
No, it's not Sonic.
Not Sonic.
Sonic is coming out.
Sonic is coming up. It's a little ways down the list.
Mm.
Stop jumping the list.
We'll see.
Sonic's down? No,
That's Skyrim.
that is Sonic's all the way over here.
I don't know if I can make it.
Sonic's second to last.
Alright, so we got a new RPG.
New RPG, Xenoblade 2. I just heard you blow up when you heard about this. Apparently, you hate Xenoblade.
Yes, I do.
Or at least the one that came out for the Wii U. I don't know if you played the one on the Wii.
I didn't play the one on the Wii.
Okay.
But if it was anything like the Wii U one, I hated it too. Hated it was unfair because I didn't give it a fair chance. I expected something in my head, and when I played it and it was nothing like that, I was super disappointed. Number two, I watched the reviews and all the reviews said, it's a great game. You have to get like 40 hours into it. And it's like, why would I know? Who's got time for that, man? I got things to do, like...
I agree. 40 hours before a game gets good is too much.
Come on, no, I'm not doing that.
I actually like the Xenoblade series.
I bet you do.
I do. Wow, this is going to be a long episode. We're almost already at the hour mark, but we're going to keep it going.
Switch it up!
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
But I actually like the Xenoblade series, and it kind of looked like Xenoblade 2 to me when the trailer started, but the art style was very different from typical Xenoblade to me, so I was a little confused. And then when I saw it was Xenoblade 2, I got a bit excited. There wasn't, as far as I know, a release date. It just had that it would be out in 2017. You don't care.
Nah, I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna get it.
I got it. I asked, what did it come out, like 2 years ago?
Which one? The one
for
X?
the Wii U?
Yes, that was on the Wii U.
I got it for like Christmas. I played it for an hour and I was like, ugh, took it right back to me. Stuff traded in. I was really happy because they gave me like $40 or $50 for it. And I was like, that's not even worth it. So go, thank
you. Next we have Fire Emblem Warriors. I was super excited about Fire Emblem.
Are you?
I was until I saw it was Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors.
I'm not a huge fan of those games.
Nobody is. Why do they keep putting them out?
Who likes
those?
I didn't like Hyrule Warriors.
No, I was so disappointed.
And I love Zelda. And I was I should love this. But I didn't. And I love Fire Emblem.
Here's the problem. Hyrule Warriors sold a lot. So, of course, they're like, oh, this is what people want. No. Zelda sold a lot, buddy. That's
I agree.
Sold a lot.
And I really thought that it was a missed opportunity to not put a Fire Emblem on the Switch.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, Wii U, I'm sorry. To not put a regular Fire Emblem on the Wii U. Because to me, the Wii U was the perfect place. On your big screen, you could have had the cinematic fights go on. And on the bottom, it could have been the bird's eye view of all your units and where you're going to place them.
Yeah, I didn't really like the Fire Emblems until a friend of mine, Brian, he lent me one of the Fire Emblems. I was like, man, these are great games. But I made fun of you so much for them.
Yes.
I made real bad. Like, I hurt your feelings a few times.
Yeah, you make fun of me a lot.
Yeah. No, I was just talking about the Fire Emblem in general. Like, you had it on your DS, and I was going right at your neck. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they're pretty good games, so I agree with you. That would have been a genius idea.
I don't know why it wasn't on the Wii U. And then when I saw that they were doing a Fire Emblem for the Switch, because they showed, I'm pretty sure it's Crom. They showed Crom on the trailer, and I was like, oh man, where is this going? I'm super excited. Then it said Fire Emblem Warriors, and I was like, you lost me. Because I will probably not buy this. I just want a regular Fire Emblem game. You know I want a regular Fire Emblem game, and you're giving me Dynasty Warriors.
Yep.
Again.
Yep.
You jerks.
It's like you have a delicious pizza in front of you, and somebody puts pineapple on it.
I love pineapple on pizza.
Oh, well, yeah. Then you don't like that comparison.
Huh?
So, you don't like that comparison.
No,
so,
that comparison.
You know what? Here's one for me, actually, because I don't like pineapple pizza either. I love French toast. It's like one of the greatest foods ever. I hate when I go to a restaurant and I'm like, hey, can I have French toast? I'm like, would you like me to put fruit on that? No. It's a nasty fruit away from my French toast. I want butter, powder, and syrup on it, all right? That's it. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. But sorry, you like pineapple pizza.
Whatever.
Super hipster of you, man.
Nintendo came out and said over 80 games are going to be made for the Switch. Cool. As long as you actually deliver on that, I'm
And they're not like ARMS 1, 2, 3, 4,
yeah,
5.
See, that's the problem I'm having too. Are a lot of these going to be mini games? A lot of these going to be like your indie games, which indie games aren't bad. Don't get me wrong. Some indie games are just as good as AAA titles, but Nintendo needs to make sure that they tread carefully and that they get the support of people.
Good word use on the tread carefully thing, by the way.
Thanks.
Oh,
Atlas showed up a new game, a new Shin Megami Tensei game. You have no idea what that is.
no, bless you.
It is an RPG series.
Okay.
So that is actually what Persona is a branch of. Persona is a branch.
I've heard a lot about these Personas.
Love Persona. Persona is probably one of my favorite RPGs of all time.
They made movies, like anime movies, off the popularity of these, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For the third game, and they have an animated series for
Didn't
the fourth.
ask you to go into detail.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right, yep.
Shin Megami Tensei, though, is a turn-based RPG.
I do like turn-based RPGs.
Now, I
Right.
don't know the details of this game. We don't know if it's an RPG. All we saw was a trailer showing creatures from Shin Megami Tensei, and then they said that a Shin Megami Tensei title will be coming to the Switch. So,
Maybe a Persona?
not Persona. I'm pretty sure Persona will not be going to the Switch. Persona has pretty much been exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Not like with the. I don't believe there's any verbal deal there that it has to be on
What
PlayStation.
about the one for the Wii U? Didn't they put out some of the Wii U?
No, that was Tokyo Mirage,
That was it, bless you.
Sharp FE, which I really wanted to play. But that played like a Persona game, but it wasn't Persona.
Alright, so 8-bit RPG coming out for the Wii U. What's it called?
That was by Square, and that was called Octopath Traveler.
Ooh.
Now, that actually looked really cool. It reminded me of old school, like, Final Fantasy, stuff like that. That looked pretty cool. But, once again, I don't know, one, how much that's going to be, and we don't know how good it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, usually the 8-bit RPGs they put out nowadays are usually pretty solid. Or the 8-bit games in general. Shovel Knight was pretty good.
Shovel Knight was really good.
Yeah.
But that game also didn't have a release window or date in either the Shin Megami Tensei, and they actually said that Shin Megami Tensei just started development, so we probably won't see that, honestly, until 2018, maybe 2019.
Yeah. So, the good news is Skyrim will be on the Switch. I'm really happy about this. I think it's...
Didn't move the needle for me. I'm sorry.
Why
You
don't you-
go on to your excitement, though. I don't want to
never
suck
play
it from you.
Skyrim. I want my first experience to be on the Switch. That's it. Okay. It's as simple as that, buddy. I've never played it. I'm really excited about it.
I'm sorry.
It's a third-party game. It's a good third-party
It
game.
is. It is very good.
For people that never played it, maybe they're going to be excited. I was going to get it for PlayStation 4. Now I'm not. I'm going to get it for the Switch.
Makes sense.
Is that okay with you?
That is perfectly fine.
All right.
You can do what you want. My problem with it is, one,
Game's going to be like this?
Skyrim on the go is probably going to be about 2 hours
All right. Yeah, probably.
for your battery life. But I do agree that if you haven't played Skyrim, it is an amazing game. And I do think that it's something that, for those Nintendo-only fans that usually only play Nintendo consoles, that missed out on Skyrim, this is a good way to play it. For the people that they need to bring over to their console, have probably already played Skyrim, and that's not moving the needle for a reason to buy your console.
So what game would you have instead one of them put?
I think what they should have done is tease the next Elder Scrolls.
They said they weren't doing another Elder Scrolls.
Bethesda?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they said they weren't doing another one.
Like, not for a while at least.
But I think you need to prove that this console has longevity. I think a lot of the stuff that they did, we'll get into that after we do the whole thing. But I think I would have much rather maybe seen like Fallout 4, maybe like a newer title. Because Skyrim was already on the PS3.
You literally
360.
complained about them putting out a sequel to something without the other ones. So now you would put a Fallout 4, we wouldn't have 1, 2, and 3.
This is true, but you also are getting Elder Scrolls 4, and you didn't have 1, 2, or 3. I mean 5. I'm sorry.
There it is.
Elder Scrolls 5.
I agree with you.
Didn't have 1,
but
2, 3,
Skyrim,
or 4.
Skyrim has nothing to do with Oblivion.
You're right, but Fallout 4 doesn't have anything to do with 3.
Whoa. You're right. All right. All right, you know what? Before you try to fix this real quick, my good buddy here wrote, there was a mystery game with a guy with sunglasses and a red jacket.
I didn't know
What could that be?
that it was No More Heroes.
It's not the fact that you didn't realize it was No More Heroes. There's been 2 No More Heroes games.
And I never played any of them.
They've been released on multiple systems.
They have, you're right.
They're good reviewed games, solid games. They usually pop up on the list of games you need to play before you die. You go, who is this?
Okay,
This guy.
I get it. I made a mistake.
I
No More Heroes is going to be on the Switch. Let's get off of me making
You
the
know,
mistake
no,
of the
like,
mystery game.
we want to point out, you know what I mean, that time I told you to watch Adam Ruins Everything, and you called me up and you're like, man, I can't find Andy Ruins stuff. Where is it? What is that? I was like, that's not the show, man. You know what I mean? So get your references together. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't want you running up to me like I seen this awesome movie where they like get ghosts with these vacuum cleaners and they have like traps and like Ghostbusters. Yeah, I think that's what it was called. Get your reference together. So No More Heroes, man. You're excited? You never played them, so why
Never played a No More Heroes. Although I've always heard great things about it.
Yeah, really good game.
Never played it because I don't like motion controls, and it was for the Wii. And then when it came to the PS3, I heard that it was better with the move control. So once again, I was like, well, I don't want to do motion controls. So
Yeah, but you need the move controls for the PlayStation 3 version. You can play without it too.
I heard you could play without it. I just heard
Only
it
thing you
was
needed for the motion controls is the game developers thought it was super funny. The whole thing is he wins a laser sword.
Yeah.
You had to charge a laser sword.
And you had to
only way to do it. So even if you played,
jack your hands up and down.
Yeah, even if you had the regular controller in PlayStation 3 you played, you still had to turn it sideways and go like this.
Oh, okay.
It's just because developers wanted you to do that. You know what I mean?
Maybe they don't know that I'm a pro.
Yeah, so, I got it done already, real quick. Yeah.
Maybe I'll pick it up on the PS3, give it a shot.
Or you could just wait for the game to get released.
Yeah, I do want to feel that ice cube shaking around. So I might as well wait for the Switch and get it on that.
Nice.
Hear that rattling around ice cube. Anyway, let's.
EA is bringing FIFA. I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't care either. Obviously,
I'm sorry, soccer fans. I am Hispanic, but I don't like soccer.
Yeah, I like soccer, but I don't like
Do
sports games.
Do you like soccer?
I do like soccer.
You like football?
I do like the football.
No, I don't do it.
Yeah, this didn't do anything for me, and I just love that it was funny that out of all the things they could have showed from EA, that's what they showed.
Yeah.
I think they should have got Mass Effect.
Oh yeah.
100%. If you would have got Mass Effect,
Still not buying it.
It would have been.
No.
No.
Done with Mass Effects.
3 really ruined it.
Oh man, done.
All right. But yeah, I think EA bringing FIFA. It's obviously people care. Some people care. FIFA's big, but I don't think that that's going to move the needle too much for people because FIFA's also already on the PS4 and Xbox One.
I agree, but it'll be a nice treat for people that
It is.
don't. Like I said, one of the big things I got mad about the Wii U is I don't play many sports games, but it didn't have any.
That's true.
So it's like, come on, I couldn't even play wrestling. No.
Yeah, it's also getting NBA 2K. So
Awesome.
And they both games they just have listed for 2017. I'm going to assume that means you actually will only be getting the 2018 version of both. That will come out next holiday.
So Sony dropped Game, but the Switch picked it up, huh? Nintendo picked it up.
Yeah, so
What was
there
the
was
game, buddy?
this game called Rhyme. It was supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive way back when for the PS4. It was
What's it about?
It's actually just open world. It reminded a lot of people of Ico type Shadow and Zelda feel. But the problem was apparently the developers weren't really showing any progress in the games, so Sony just kind of dropped them. They were like, well, we're going to pass. And that's usually a big deal if Sony drops you for an exclusive, because Sony loves their exclusives. I'm going to assume Nintendo picking them up. I hope that this game comes to fruition, but we'll see if it actually happens.
It would be cool if they put it like open world now, and then since Nintendo picked it up, the open world is a mix of all the Nintendo worlds. It's got like Hyrule and the Mushroom Kingdom and Kirby Land. Oh,
That'd be pretty cool.
it would be, and I made that up. Nintendo still, it's a genius idea. Ever tell you about the time when I wanted Nintendo to give me a job?
No.
I still do.
Before we go here, let's go here. Let's go to Sonic Mania for
No.
you. Sonic
Go
Mania.
off your list, buddy.
Yeah, we're going off the list real quick.
I am super excited about Sonic Mania. I think that's all I need to say. It looks like a great 2D Sonic game again. I think it's really fun looking. I love the mix of 8-bit graphics with HD graphics. I think it was really smart to announce that on the Switch. And I think it's announced for spring, which to me is a month or two after the release probably. So, not much to say about it. I think it's really good. I think you should give it a chance.
I might give it a shot. I do think so. Here's what I'll say. I think Sonic fits Nintendo very well.
Okay.
I think Sonic is a good fit for Nintendo. However, I don't think Sonic Mania once again proved that Nintendo is catering to hardcore gamers. I think it kind of put Nintendo in that same boat of we're here for family games.
I mean, with that being said, it's a multi-platform game, though.
That's true.
You know,
I agree with
it's coming
that.
out on everything.
I agree.
It's just nice to know that
the Switch is getting it as well.
Yeah. And then compared to the exclusives, they had the Sonic Boom games that they made. They were awful. And then, what was the one before that came out that wasn't that great either? I can't remember, but it wasn't that great either.
For Sonic Boom?
Yeah, it was Lost World.
Oh, Lost World, right.
Yes, or Sonic Galaxies, depending on how you looked at it, you know what I mean? So it's... I'm excited for it. It looks really neat. Still a little more excited about the other Sonic game that they really haven't announced. One that looks like a sequel to Generations. But, we talked about that last video, and I got really excited about it anyway. So, can we finally talk about it? Can we finally talk about it? Can we talk about it now? Can we talk about it now? Can we talk about it now?
We can do it.
All right. Go ahead. I'll let you say it.
So the last...
Breath of the Wild is coming out! Oh! Oh, I hope you had that thing turned all the way up, baby! Oh, Breath of the Wild looks so good. Did you see the trailer?
I did see the trailer.
I watched it in Japanese. I watched it in English. I watched it on mute. I watched it with the volume all the way up. I watched it again. I showed it to my wife. I didn't show it to my wife. I watched it again. Everything about that game looks amazing. If you want to be a hipster and say you don't like Legend of Zelda, that's fine. Let that. But if you can't say that game doesn't look amazing, there's something wrong with you. There's something seriously wrong with you.
Breath of the Wild did look amazing.
Let me ask you a question. When's it getting released, buddy?
March 3rd.
March 3rd?
It is a launch title.
Oh.
And actually, I'm going to name the podcast after this question that I have, though, related to this game. Did Zelda save the Switch?
I think so. Only on the basis of... How many pre-orders did you guys get for the Switch?
38, and we still are taking them. We didn't sell out.
Word.
Yeah. When I went
That's 38, though.
It is 38. I was expecting, though, to sell out really fast.
Yes.
I was shocked that we didn't.
Probably because everybody went to sleep before the Breath of the Wild trailer.
I also think it has to do with the fact that a lot of people I talked to that did watch the whole thing, Nintendo didn't successfully move the needle for them. Didn't really show them enough, to make them have faith in what Nintendo's doing in the future. Like I said, Nintendo really showed that they're still Nintendo.
I think we have a huge opportunity because, let's be honest, Zelda is a system seller.
It is, and that is exactly why I think every single person that pre-ordered a Switch pre-ordered Zelda. What'd you pre-order with your Switch?
Zelda. And a bunch of other games.
What did I pre-order with my Switch?
Probably
Zelda. That's it.
I think, honestly, when Wind Waker got released, the GameCube did not move up in sales.
It did, because a lot of people did not like the art style.
A month and a half later, sales went up.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Because of how great
Word got out of how great Wind Waker was.
Agreed. I was one of the few people that from the moment Wind Waker was announced, I wanted it.
I know, I was super excited.
And then I got made fun of.
Yeah. I was in camp. It's awful, by the way. Don't send your kids. They don't want to go. So I'm in camp, and I remember somebody was talking about Wind Waker, and I was like, I'm super excited. And they're like, it looks like such a kid game. And I was like, we're kids. Number one, you weirdo. Number two, it's Legend of Zelda. Like, I don't care. It's going to be amazing. And Wind Waker was. And we mentioned this 1,000 times before. It still holds up graphically wise.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. And I do think that...
Which so does Breath of the Wild. Oh, man, it looks so good.
And I think Breath of the Wild is going to be one of the ones that years from now, when we go back to play, it'll still be beautiful. Because it looks like a painting.
It does. So, Link's not wearing the green there, huh? You a little upset?
He is not. Apparently, though, he has multiple outfits that he can wear.
That's what you're saying.
They give you stat boosts. Give you a bunch
of
other
this?
stuff.
He's going away from the...
I don't mind it because I do think Zelda needed to change. I think that it was too much of the same thing. Granted, it worked, but I do think the changes are welcomed. It's welcomed by me.
Here is my only thing I think they've done. They're still releasing it for the Wii U.
They are. They did not give... I don't know if it's going to be released at the same day.
Anybody remembers the Wii? The game Twilight Princess was developed on GameCube. They ported it over to the Wii, but to get them sales, they released it as a launch title for the Wii and pushed it back 2 months for the GameCube. I think that's not. I don't think it was developed for the Wii U, just because, like I said, we did that side-to-side comparison, and it looks so much better on the Switch. To answer your question, I think absolutely it saved the Switch, because I'm super, super excited. Maybe it's
until they showed Zelda. I honestly was willing to wait to pick up a Switch. Personally,
you're dumb.
I was like, I'll just wait and I'll get it later. And then when I saw Breath of the Wild and then it was a launch title, I was like, all right, you got it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I can't see people, like, once the word gets out, great, once again, Breath of the Wild's got to land. It's got to be.
It has to be a 10 out of 10.
It's got to be a 10 out of 10. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be better than a 10 out of 10. It's got to change. It's got to be something that, like, wow.
Yes.
Name that game that really, Halo, that was a system seller. That was a game that
it was a game changer.
Yeah, that everybody was talking about.
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time
was a game changer. Final Fantasy VII.
7. These were reasons people got the system. And that's what this Breath of the Wild has to be. And although I always say I love every Zelda game, to me, my least favorite Zelda game is still better than some of the other games I really like. Just because Zelda, consistently are great games.
And this one looks pretty dark.
Yeah.
Like in the trailer, there's a girl crying, there's rain coming.
I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier that I watched like that.
Oh, yeah, you told me you watched it.
That is so weird that you, like, it's like I feel like you never listen to me.
Maybe I just want us to make sure we go over it for, like, the listeners.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. You know what I mean? Watch the trailer because it looks so good.
What a jerk.
It is. I am really mean.
You are.
I just.
But do you think this is going to make a difference for the people that aren't Nintendo fans? Do you think Zelda is going to be why people go out and get it?
No, absolutely. There's too many hipsters out there that just hate on Nintendo, and Zelda's not going to be the thing that sells them. And to be honest, like I said, Zelda's got to be amazing for the Switch to do well, because as it stands now, I don't think it's going to do well. The announcements they made were foolish. The games they showed were nothing. The games they started off with were like, why, man? Like, ARMS?
What I really think they needed to do was get Red Dead. Red Dead 2 is coming out this year in the fall. They needed to show Red Dead 2 was going to be on this console. They needed to show that these big titles that are coming out during the holiday, besides Mario, are also going to be on your console. Don't get me wrong, it's March. We still have E3 coming up, which maybe they didn't want to blow their whole load right now for this March event. Maybe, but I think they needed to blow enough of it so that so people wanted to get the Switch.
Yeah, to feel it's not even sold out yet, really, it's sad.
That's what I said. That's what I was saying. I was expecting us to sell out before noon, and it's still a day later. We still haven't. And I think that proves that people are on the fence with this console, not just because of what they showed, but because you didn't show anything that makes anyone feel like this system isn't going to be another Wii U. Right now, you showed me a lot of games, and a lot of them I didn't care about, and a lot of people didn't care about. And that's the problem. You didn't move the bar for people who aren't already Nintendo fanboys. You and me were getting one because we love Zelda, and that was my justification. And you just love Nintendo in general, so you're gonna buy all their first party stuff.
Correct. If they release shoes, I'd buy them.
Whereas me, I'm a huge Zelda fan. I'm gonna buy it, but you know what they need to show? Maybe the next Pikmin. Pikmin 4 should have been a launch title or a launch window. Show like a Metroid, F-Zero.
Oh man, Metroid would be great.
And I get that you need to save stuff for E3, and maybe that's where they're saving a lot of these big titles, but you gave no reason why people should be rushing out to pick up your console March 3rd, besides Zelda. And guess who's going to buy Zelda? Your fanboys that you've been living off of already, that you can't live off of for this console.
Yeah.
They have to convince people to buy it, and they're not.
Well, we shall see. We'll get into next week what happens if this doesn't do well. So.
Yeah, this is a pretty long episode.
Well, that's not that bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I hope you had a long car ride, That's, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or you had a break at work, you know what I mean? Or maybe they needed this because you're special. Yeah, I'm talking to you, and you over there too. You are special too. You know what I mean?
You with the half-opened eye. You might be Asian, but
How did they go racist against Tom?
I didn't.
So weird.
I didn't mean to.
All right. Well, this is episode 7 of The Enthusiast. Once again, you can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, and other
Facebook
things.
and Twitter.
Facebook, please hit that thumbs up if you like the video. You can thumbs down if you want to be a jerk. But, thumbs up if you like the video.
Give us a comment.
Oh, please comment. Let us know how much ARMS upset you and how it really shook your whole day.
And you know what? Let us know if you're getting a Switch. Tell us if you're getting a Switch. And let us know if it's because of Zelda. Did Zelda save the Switch for you, or was it other titles that really pushed you to getting it?
And if there's anybody out there that liked the announcement of ARMS, please sell it to me in the comments. Because I need to know what you saw that I didn't. Well, thank you. This is Justin Nazario.
And Will Zabo.
Have a good one.